Hey VC, what's going on? Matt here. Excuse me. Haven't done a video in a while. Just been busy um, and not really buying too much in terms of vinyl, but I have been picking up more CDs. Just stuff. My rule of thumb, and this is, as you can see, an update on what I've picked up, both CD and vinyl. My rule of thumb basically for CDs is that if it's too expensive to buy on vinyl or whatever, I usually just pick it up on CD. I have a stereo right here and with my setup and stuff like that. So I don't like to pirate music. So for the most part, if there's an album that I want and it's probably going to be cheaper anyway than buying on iTunes or whatever, I just prefer to just have the hard copy. I like having a collection like everybody else out there. So without more rambling, I'm going to get right into it. I only have 4 LPs, one 7-inch, and about like 10 CDs over the last couple months. First, I'll start off with what's playing right now. This is Real Estate's Atlas. This is probably one of my favorite albums of 2014 so far. I love their 2012, or was it 20? Might have been 2011. I want to say 2012 though. Real Estate's Days is one of my favorite albums actually ever. It's really, really great. This is just as good. I probably like that a bit more, but if you like that, definitely check that out. Actually, my goal for this is going to try and get this video done before this side of the record is over, just to kind of keep myself moving. Next, I got this a few months ago. I may have shown it, but this is Belle and Sebastian's The Boy with the Arab Strap. Just an album. They're a band I haven't listened to much past just that album, but I liked it and I found it for kind of cheap. It's definitely a reissue, not an original. This is Blink-182's Take Off Your Pants and Jacket, their live album from 2000. This is about a year and a half or so after Enema of the State came out. They're one of my favorite bands. I started listening to them as a kid, and it was a Hot Topic limited release reissue. I think there's only 2,500 copies. I got it for $20 or $22. It's kind of gotten up in price as well since then. And my last one is Cloud Nothing's Here and Nowhere Else. I'm sorry. This is really, really good. If you liked their 2011 or 12, if you liked Attack on Memory, you'll probably really dig this as well. Really good. More of just the same of that, but again, I probably like that album more. But this is fantastic. Definitely recommend that. And my only one, by the way, happy Record Store Day, everybody. I hope everyone enjoyed it. My only pickup from then was Conor Oberst's Hundreds of Ways and Fast Friends. This is off his upcoming solo album. It's coming out later this year. I think it's later this year at least. This is the only one like I said, got on Record Store Day. I wasn't able to go to a store on Record Store Day. I work for a hockey team, and we're currently in the playoffs. So it's kind of been crazy. Very, very little time on the weekends, and that day we had practice, so I had to be there, and so that kind of cut into that. I went a couple of days to a place right by my office in Manhattan, and I didn't even know about this place called Rock and Soul Records. I don't know if anybody else has ever checked it out. It was decent. It was more DJ and hip hop than it was stuff that I was listening to, but they had a pretty decent leftover from Record Store Day. They didn't have the Circa Survive Sunny Day Real Estate split, which was really the one thing I really, really, really wanted. They didn't have that. They did have Pinback's first album that was reissued on vinyl, but I didn't pick that up. I kind of regret it. I kind of want to check it out again. It's not an album I've ever listened to. I do like Pinback's most recent album. I have that on vinyl. I think it's called Proceed to Memory. But $25, I'm kind of limiting what I spend these days, but may go back there. But yeah, Rock and Soul Records, again, it was more hip hop and dance and DJ stuff, but it was still good. They had some good stuff. They had a lot of Boards of Canada, a lot of Radiohead. They had some Block Party. They didn't have what's it called? Drawing a blank. Their first album, which I love. But they had some decent stuff. I have to check it out again. Onto the CDs. This came in the mail today. This is Fugazi's The Argument. It's weird holding up these CDs because they look so small now. Fugazi. This is Bjork Vespertine. I absolutely love this album. It's the first I'd ever listened to her, listened of any of her music was that, and it's fantastic. This is Neon Bible by Arcade Fire. Like it a lot. This is actually a funny one. This is the Beatles anthology, the third volume. The only reason I have this, not that I dislike it, but my dad picked it up when we went music shopping. He buys CDs, and he didn't know that he had this already, so he bought it and he gave it to me. So I'll take it. Got some Decemberists here. This is Castaways and Cutouts, probably my favorite Decemberist album. It's very expensive on vinyl as well. This is Her Majesty, and last but not least is the Crane Wife. I have one Decemberist album. It's I think it's kind of more like an EP. It's like, I forget what it's called. I think it had 3 volumes, but so I have that. This is Sparta Wiretap Scars. I love this album. This is some of the guys from At the Drive-In, and I much prefer this than Mars Volta in terms of post At the Drive-In music with the guys. This is great. This is Nirvana's In Utero. This is, like I said at the start of the video, if an album's too expensive, I'll just buy it on vinyl. I'll buy it on CD instead of vinyl. This is kind of one of those cases. I wanted to have a hard copy of In Utero, but I wasn't. I don't love it enough to buy it on vinyl. U2. This is War. This is actually the first U2 piece of music that I own. I actually really like this album. They were always a band that I had always kind of want to listen to, but it was kind of overwhelmed by their catalog because they've been around for so long. But this was in the dollar bin at my record store out on Long Island by my parents' house, and I figured, what the hell, just pick it up. And last but not least is My Morning Jacket. It still moves. I'm sorry. This is one I picked up. Most of these got off of Discogs. This one I think was 75 cents on Discogs. I like it. It's pretty good. I know a lot of people really like this album. I don't like it as much as some people, I guess, do, but I enjoyed it. So that's it. I hope you enjoyed listening or watching, and I've been watching a lot of people's stuff on what they got for Record Store Day, and it definitely makes me jealous. So I'll see everyone soon.